Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to get into an idea that's, just about 2,400 years old, but it completely changed how we think about what's real and what isn't. Let's dive into Plato's powerful and honestly pretty mind-bending theory of forms.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to start with a simple puzzle in our physical world, then uncover Plato's radical solution. We'll explore the grand hierarchy he proposed, discover a pretty surprising modern twist on his thinking, and finally, we'll see why this ancient idea still matters so much today. All right, let's jump right in. To get our heads around this, we don't need to go back to ancient Greece. We just need to look at the stuff right in front of us. Seems like a ridiculously simple question, right? We all know what a chair is. But really, take a second and think about it. What is the one single thing that every single chair has in common? I mean, think about it. A hard wooden dining chair is nothing like a soft, shapeless beanbag. An office chair has wheels and levers, while a massive throne is a symbol of power. They're made of different materials, have a different number of legs, they're for different things. And yet, our brain instantly groups them all together as chair. How? How do we do that? Well, this simple puzzle is exactly what led to Plato's big idea. He realized the answer couldn't be found in any of the physical chairs themselves. No, it had to exist somewhere else, in a reality beyond our everyday senses. Plato proposed that for every single thing or idea in our world, there's a perfect, eternal, and unchanging form of it. These forms exist in a higher reality, not a physical place you can visit, but a realm you can only grasp with your mind. So it's not about your chair, it's about the perfect, ideal form of chairness itself. And here is the absolute kicker. These forms aren't just concepts floating around in our heads. For Plato, they are the real reality. The physical world we see and touch, that's just a shadow play, a flickering, flawed copy of those perfect, eternal forms. You can think of it like this. An architect draws up a blueprint before anyone starts building a house. That blueprint is the perfect idea. The physical house is just the copy. Well, for Plato, the entire universe works this way. The forms are the master blueprints for everything. This idea of participation is totally key. A beautiful sculpture isn't beauty itself. It's just a thing that's participating in the perfect form of beauty. A single brave act isn't courage itself. It's just an action participating in the form of courage. The physical is always just a copy of the perfect ideal. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that gap between the two worlds. The beauty of a sunset is incredible, but it's fleeting. It shows up and then poof, it's gone. That temporariness proves it's just a reflection. The true form of beauty, on the other hand, is eternal. It never, ever fades. So if this realm of forms is out there, what's it like? Well, for Plato, it wasn't some chaotic jumble of ideas. He saw a perfect logical structure, a whole hierarchy of reality. He saw it as a kind of pyramid. Down at the bottom, you have the forms of specific things, like a horse or a chair. Go up a level, and you find more universal concepts, things like truth and beauty. But at the very, very top, watching over everything else, there's one ultimate form. And that is the form of the good. Plato had this amazing analogy. Just like our sun shines light on the physical world so we can see, the form of the good shines its light on the world of ideas. It's the ultimate source that gives existence and truth and meaning to all the other forms. So, for thousands of years, that was the core of Platonism. But here's where the story takes a really fascinating turn. The word we use today, Platonism, it doesn't actually mean what Plato himself believed. Yup, over the centuries, and especially in the 20th century, philosophers took Plato's ideas and kind of morphed them into something he probably wouldn't even recognize. And here it is, the main difference, and it all comes down to power. For Plato, the forms were active. The form of beauty actually causes things to be beautiful. It has a real effect on the world. But modern Platonism sees abstract ideas as completely passive, totally inert. The number two, or the concept of red, don't do anything. They just exist. Now, I know this might sound like a tiny academic detail, but this one little change from active to passive completely flips the meaning and the purpose of the entire theory on its head. See, Plato's universe was alive. The forms were these living, divine forces that were actively shaping our reality. And knowledge was all about connecting with these active sources. The modern version gives us this sterile universe of abstract concepts that can't interact with us, which, ironically, creates a huge problem. How can we possibly know about things that have zero causal connection to us? And that's really the legacy of this whole shift. For Plato, philosophy was this life-changing journey to understand the living, breathing structure of reality itself. The modern interpretation kind of turned it into a formal exercise of solving logical puzzles about abstract things. The soul of the idea was basically lost.
So let's try to reconnect with Plato's original vision. Think of ideas not as passive concepts, but as active forces. What are the living ideals, the forms, that actively shape your choices? Is it a powerful ideal of justice, an unwavering commitment to truth? Think about the blueprints that don't just exist on paper, but are actively building your life. So here's a final thought I want to leave you with. What if we actually reclaimed Plato's original vision? What if we started treating ideas not as inert things to be studied, but as living, powerful forces that are shaping our world? If you started looking for the active forms behind the chaos of daily life, what timeless patterns do you think you would suddenly start to see?